Hello, and welcome to another Infinity Nikki video. This one is quite a complex one to make, mostly because if you allude that somebody has broken the law before they have been sentenced for it, you can get hit by a defamation lawsuit, and companies are especially likely to get that to happen, so yay! Hence why everything that I'm gonna be covering today, know that this is potentially true, that this is alleged info, and that this is something that some players are claiming, and that if you're experiencing similar issues, you should go to this thread, read up about it, and make your own decisions. This is me entirely covering my ass in order to not get sued for defamation. I am sorry for the wording used, but one thing that I have learned from true crime YouTubers is that you really do need to use that wording. Like, even in an almost open and shut cases, you really do need to use that wording. So, something to cover. I knew about this thread existing when I made my last video on Infinity Nikki. It came out at about the same time, if not like a bit earlier or a bit later. So I was recommending this thread to some people in the comment section of my videos so that they can go and read about it and make up their own mind. But then I received an email that asked me to see if I can spread the word because Reddit threads disappear off the internet fairly fast, as in they get drawn out by the rest of the subreddit, and then people don't really know about it anymore. And I told the person that I'm gonna consider it because this is such a. It's a hard thing to talk about because, once again, that disclaimer, you can get sued for saying that somebody has committed a crime. So, allegedly, Infold may have committed some trading violations in some countries, potentially as claimed by some players. And if some players' opinions might align with yours, you may want to read their opinions and check things out for yourself. And I am not responsible for your decision making the same way that you're not responsible for mine. Hooray. Also, if you're watching this, it's probably Monday in my time, and it probably means that I am not streaming. I just removed the tooth several days ago, and the healing process is going okay. I can move my jaw again, but my immune system no likey, so Mirta is almost feeling like she's having the flu. Hence why you get this video instead in this slot. Hooray! Now, without further ado, Infold may have broken some laws, allegedly, through the practices that they have done in Infinity Nikki, and if this is your country, something that you have experienced, and you find this opinion to be true, you could potentially also report them to make sure that these issues get addressed through the involvement of the government of the country that you're in. The person that made this thread analyzed quite specifically EU and US laws. So if you fall outside of those two countries, you would need to do a whole bunch more checking yourself. And the EU is not a country, but European Union is a unified bloc through some regulations and laws being shared through multiple different countries. So I am sorry, I just made the mistake of calling it a country. It's not. It's absolutely not. But Mirta is on anti-flu meds, so if I misspeak, that is why. I also grew up in EU, and it's very annoying when people decide that that is a singular country and not like a bloc of countries that decided to come into a trade union and also share some laws together. So from here on end, let me read. As this person says, There could be more violations, but these are the most obvious ones that I've seen. If you live somewhere besides the US or European Union, I would love to help you find laws and reporting centers for your area. Just let me know. Sorry this is so long, but I wanted to be as specific as possible. Starting with the $50 marked down to a generous $9.99 bathtub. However, other things in the store have been similarly advertised, not quite as egregiously. If you don't know what they're mentioning, let me just hide my own camera. This. I just took this picture in game, so on UK, as far as I'm concerned, I think it's a Thursday right now. My brain's a bit loopy. This was still on the Thursday where they are advertising this bundle as a marked down price to $9.99 while the original was £49. But here's the issue, you can't buy anything inside this bundle separately from it, nor has this bundle ever been released before. The $9.99 is literally the only price that it has ever been under, and that is what that person is talking about. In the US National FTC Regulations 15 USC 45A or Section 5 of the FTC Act of 1914 says that unfair or deceptive acts or practices in or of affecting commerce are hereby declared unlawful. This is very broad, but then you have the FTC guides that go into what that means. On deceptive pricing, the FTC states that advertisers cannot advertise a former price unless it was an actual price that was offered for a reasonable amount of time. This specifically Title 16, Chapter 1B, Section 233.1D, although they seem to violate quite a bit of Section 233 as a whole. The $50 pricing was never real or intended, which is called false reference pricing. Some states have even stricter rules, but for this post, I'm trying to include the laws for the most people possible. For the EU, this violates Article 6 of the Unfair Commercial Practices Directive. Article 6 states that a commercial practice shall be regarded as misleading if it contains false information and is therefore untruthful or in any way, including overall presentation, deceives or is likely to deceive the average consumer, even if the information is factually correct, in relation to one or more of the following elements, and in either case causes or is likely to cause him to take a transactional decision that he would not have taken otherwise. Specifically, Section D, the price or the manner in which the price is calculated or the existence of a specific price advantage. It also violates the 2022 Omnibus Directive stating that businesses must show the lowest price applied in 30 days. Next, we have the Daily Gem package issue as seen today. When they were asked for a refund for their daily gems as they were unable to access the game, Infold stated that they should play the game on another device and that this was on them. However, some people don't have another device to play on. I know that my iPhone 13 can't run the game. What they're referencing quite specifically is a case where a person stated that they couldn't log into the game through their PS5 for 3 weeks straight. And if you buy monthly gifts, you have to be logging in daily in order to claim your rewards. And because of the errors on Infold's part, because of the bugs that they introduced into the game, this person was unable to log in for 3 weeks straight, so they lost 3 weeks worth of rewards that they paid money for. At first, Infold has sent them this answer. Sorry for the late reply. This inability to log in resulting in rewards not being claimed is not compensable. Please log in on another device as soon as possible the next time you experience this situation. Thank you for your patience. They made this post complaining about this customer service response on Infinity Nikki unofficial Reddit, and then the customer service has sent them another response where they were like, please disregard this. This does not apply to you. Please give us more details on exactly what device you were on that you couldn't log in on. And they were about to be happy that the support is engaging with them again. But then the support closed the ticket. Um, Apparently, Infinity Nikki support only keeps an open ticket for 12 hours by policy. However, sometimes they will close the ticket a lot faster than 12 hours for reasons unknown. So some people will receive answers from the support at like 3 or 4 a.m. their time when they're asleep, and by the time that they're awake, the ticket will already be closed. This person did not have a chance to reply because they were not given enough time to reply. So they have so far created a new ticket which can take them like 5 to 10 days to answer, if not sometimes longer. So they're back in the support queue. So, in other words, we got this answer of we're not going to be refunding anyone whom this bug has occurred to. Then we have received another answer of no, due to the circumstances, we may refund you. Can you provide more details? But then they closed that ticket, which means that as far as the Infinity Nikki Reddit community is concerned, nobody has gotten a refund through the support for things that they had no access to and they have purchased so far as we're aware. But it is important to know that if this situation occurs to you, that is the person that should be doing the reporting, not like some outside party. So I couldn't like report on this person's behalf, even though I can see that it's happening because they're showing to everybody that this is how the support is replying to people. But because it's not me, because another person online can always be, I don't know, telling untruths, exaggerating the situation, or it could be like an individual case where the support is unable to communicate with like a singular individual. A whole bunch of shit can be happening. If it's not you, technically, you shouldn't be the one doing the reporting. But if something like this has happened to you, please do report it. Like, please report it to your government officials, to anything that oversees the fair trading stuff, because reporting these things, it is important. So this is like the part of the thing that we're now going to be talking about. That's the specific issue. Hello, Mirta from a different day here. I've just taken a shower. It wasn't supposed to be a recording day, but I thought I was going to give you an update before posting this video. If you have been affected by being unable to claim your monthly or weekly rewards but can log in now, you should first, before reporting Infold to any governmental facility, check your in game mail. Now, their customer service was awful for a lot of people. Their communication skills were non existent for some reason. But as of late Friday, early Saturday, it is Saturday where I'm recording, people have started receiving in game mail that hasn't been communicated anywhere with the rewards that they were missing, reading this kind of text. Following the version 1.5 update, we discovered that due to login issue, you were unable to claim some of the daily login rewards from monthly gifts. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience this has caused. Please find the compensation of unclaimed diamonds in your mailbox. They have the exact same kind of mail for weekly gains, except it's the vital energy that you have missed instead of diamonds. So there is one little upside to this whole debacle, this whole situation, is that they are now actually giving people the rewards that they couldn't access because they couldn't log in. This is great news. I am just really confused why their support couldn't like be normal about this and instead had to claim that these kind of things won't really be compensated. And I am also quite unsure why they couldn't have made like an official announcement of, don't worry, people that missed login days because of our fault and our bugs, we will compensate you. That is coming. I feel like if any of those points of contact did not fail, people would have been a lot less fearful and a lot less angry, at least as far as this issue is concerned, because in the end, they did do the right thing and actually compensate people. So, to reiterate once again, if you have encountered this issue, check your mailbox first before doing anything else, because you may just find your compensation there. This isn't just one person reporting these. There are a lot of people going, oh, I couldn't log in for 3 days. I got that compensated. I couldn't log in for a week. I got that compensated. The compensation should be there. If it is not there, hit up support again. If you can't get through to a reasonable human being through the support, then consider reporting. Don't just like jump to the last step as the first step issue. So, with that, this response to their failure violates Section 5 and the FTC Mail, Internet, or Phone Rule in the US. 16 CFR 435 states that if a product service can't be delivered on time, the seller must notify the buyer of the delay, offer a refund, or get consent to delay further and issue a refund automatically if the buyer doesn't agree to the delay. Not being able to get into the game to claim a paid service constitutes a delay in promised goods. In the EU, there are way more specific laws for this scenario. This violates Article 7 of the Digital Content Directive. Article 7 is called the Subjective Requirements for Conformity and states. In order to conform with the contract, the digital content or digital service shall, in particular, where applicable, a. be of the description, quantity, and quality, and possess the functionality, compatibility, interoperability, and other features as required by the contract. B. Be fit for any particular purpose for which the consumer requires it and which the consumer made known to the trader at the latest at the time of the conclusion of the contract and in respect of which the trader has given acceptance. And C. Be supplied with all the accessories instructions, including on installation and customer assistance as required by the contract. And D. Be updated as stipulated by the contract. Basically, the daily gems constitute a contract by Infold with the player. By releasing an update making the game unplayable on the player's device, Infold violates the law by not making the game remain functional throughout the contract duration. Additionally, Infold has violated Article 13, Remedy for Failure to Supply, and Article 16.1, Obligations of the Trader in the event of termination. Article 13 states, where the trader has failed to supply the digital content or digital service in accordance with Article 5, the consumer shall call upon the trader to supply the digital content or digital service. If the trader then fails to supply the digital content or digital service without undue delay or within an additional period of time as expressly agreed by the parties, the consumer shall be entitled to terminate the contract. Paragraph 1 shall not apply, and the consumer shall be entitled to terminate the contract immediately where a. The trader has declared, or it is equally clear from the circumstances that the trader will not supply the digital content or digital service. B. The consumer and the trader have agreed, or it is clear from the circumstances attending the conclusion of the contract that specific time for the supply is essential for the consumer and the trader fails to supply the digital content or digital service by at that time. Article 16 states that in the event of termination of the contract, the trader shall reimburse the consumer for all sums paid under the contract. However, in cases where the contract provides for the supply of the digital content or digital service in exchange for a payment of a price and over a period of time, and the digital content or digital service had been in conformity for a period of time prior to the termination of the contract, the trader shall reimburse the consumer only for the proportionate part of the price paid corresponding to the period of time during which the digital content or digital service was not in conformity, and any part of the price paid by the consumer in advance for any period of the contract that would have remained had the contract not been terminated. Considering that this person opened a support ticket, waited like a number of days for their reply. The reply first claimed that there's gonna be no refund given. Then they posted about it. Then they received a second reply that wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. And then their ticket got closed, making them wait for like 5 to 10 days again through by going through the support again. The person that has opened the first ticket to begin with could potentially actually be reporting this company for this kind of behavior lawfully if they're in US or EU. Finally, we have the allegations of hidden drop rates related to accessories versus main pieces, hair, dress, wings, etc. In early April, a data miner discovered code in the game related to drop rates for outfit pieces which are not stated in the publicly available drop rates. At the time, there were the unstated drop rates for 1.4. 5-star sets. Hairstyle has about 4% chance to drop. Dress has about 4% chance to drop. Socks have a 9% chance to drop. Shoes have a 9% chance to drop. Accessories have a 13% chance to drop. For 4-star sets, hairstyle has a 4% chance to drop. Dress has a 4% chance to drop. Socks have a 10% chance to drop. Shoes have a 10% chance to drop. Accessories have a 14% chance to drop. So, on a 5-star banner with a 4-star, for 4-star, you get a guaranteed piece every 10 pulls. For a 5-star, you get a guaranteed piece every 20 pulls. On a 4-star only banner, you get a guaranteed piece every 5 pulls. What these drop rates are stating is that some pieces are prioritized to drop more often than others, which means that you're a lot more likely to first get all the accessories, then get the smaller things like shoes before you get the main part of the outfit like the dress or the hair. So because a lot of people will be pulling for the main parts of the outfit, like the big ones, the fantastical dress or the hair pieces, like the nice new haircut. What this means is that when the drop rate is skewed to not give you those early on, the consumer will be pulling more pulls. This is all unofficial information because it comes from data miners. How trustworthy are data miners are entirely up to you to decide. And this is not something that is ever disclosed anywhere. Like the regular drop rate as to when you get the items, like you're guaranteed an item every this often, or this is the percentage chance that this item might drop a bit earlier, that is disclosed, but this kind of skewing is not. In the US, this again violates Section 5 and specifically the .com disclosures guide. In this guide, Infold violates the clear and conspicuous disclosures section. In the EU, this violates the Unfair Commercial Practices Directive 2009/29 EC and Digital Content Directive 2019/770. Additionally, both Apple and Google require percentage disclosures in their App Store policies, meaning that hidden drop rates directly violate these platforms' terms of service. While searching this, I thought that Europe had specific law that required gacha rates to be disclosed. However, it seems that this mostly applies to South Korea and China, and I'm unsure if this applies to their version of the game. If anyone from there has seen a similar code allegation, let me know. They give you sources for USA, sources for EU, and more information on possible undisclosed rates. Too long didn't read, courtesy of Chat GPT. 1. False discount pricing. United States, these are the sections that you can quote. European Union, these are the sections that you can quote. Daily gem packages, unusable due to unplayable update. For United States, this is what you quote. For European Union, this is what you quote. Hidden drop rate, weighing accessories more likely than dresses or hair. United States, this is what you can quote. And European Union, this is what you can quote. This whole video is being made entirely as information to you, dear consumer. I have no way to signal this information outside of just putting it on my channel, and I was asked for other people to signal boost this information, because it is important information to signal boost. If you can share either the link to this Reddit post, which will be in the description section down below, or this video around, that would be much, much appreciated. If you have been harmed by one of the three, any of the three of Infold's practices marked in here, and you live in either US or one of the EU bloc countries, consider reading through this, decide by yourself what you want to do, and if you want to do it, consider reporting Infold and Infinity Nikki specifically. The easiest thing to report them for, honestly, is if you have the game right now and you're capable of logging in, log in and check the store page on the game. Do you see the false discounts or not? It will be on the wand item and it will be on the bubble bath. Because I can still see them on my end, I know that they have been removed in Canada, I believe, and they may have been removed in some areas of PlayStation, but not others, which is a bit wild. If you can see that false discount and you want to contribute to the cause of Infold being not allowed to do practices that may just be legal in some countries, just like maybe allegedly might just be a tiny bit illegal, you can take that and report that specifically. The people that should be reporting the whole I paid for a service and then I wasn't able to access it are people that paid for the service and then weren't able to access it, and presumably dealt with the support and weren't able to get a satisfactory resolution to that. And data mine drop rates are data mine drop rates. They're a bit, you know, like they're on the edge. Like it's definitely something for you to make up your own opinion about. You can raise an issue over data mined things, but at the same time, data mined things are data mined, and unless you're the one doing the data mining that can then prove this discrepancy, it will always be like unquestionable ground because now you're just trusting some guy with graphs on the internet, which is, not the most trustworthy place to get your information, especially if you want to report, potential legal violations. So this one is a bit shaky. So my suggestion is this. Go to the thread, figure out how you feel about it yourself, and if the thread proves to be credible for you, in which that you agree with the alleged legal kerfuffles, log into your game and see if the discounts are there. If they're there, you know what to do. Like, it's in the thread. Just use the thread. This is the best that I can do with signal boosting something as serious as this. I can't help any more than this because it can land me in hot water. So all of this is, alleged. They might maybe be breaking some laws, or so Reddit claims. So nothing stops you from reading about this and making up your own mind as adults do and following wherever your heart takes you. I hope that this wasn't too boring of a listen. I'll be uploading more video game related videos after this one. on like Wednesday and tabletop related video on a Friday, which will be a lot less this, but this is kind of important. So if you listened to me ramble for this long and read you out all of that post, thank you so much. And thank you for the person that wrote that post up, and for the other person that has decided to contact me about said post. So now you know where you can find it in the description down below, and I'm not gonna say anything more. Also, thank you for my Patreon supporters. You're funding this channel and you're funding my ability to play video games and you're funding my ability to make video game content. And I hope that I'm gonna see the rest of you on my other videos. Toodaloo.